Cody Stream. I didn't want to yell too loud, but that was my Robin Williams impression. Did you like it? Good morning, everyone. How are we all doing on this lovely, lovely Saturday? So, yes, thank you for the for the inspiration. We love to see it. We have, let's see, Metabolic Midwife or Barb. Nice to meet you. New to your stream, glad to be here. Creative NF writer. Fancy way of saying that I'm a blogger who writes in Substack now. Look forward to getting to know you. I'm so excited that you're here. Welcome, Barb. We have Black Sunlight here. They're ready, as always ready. If you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And yes, I did read it in the Robin Williams voice. Oh, good morning, Heather. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How are you doing this lovely morning? Are you still working on your horror today? Is that what we're doing? Where are we at? We need an update because I haven't had one. We didn't really get to do very many updates last week, but I'm excited to really just hear how everyone's doing on their whips this week. Lots of fun things. So couple of updates. The book is done. Book done. Same house done. So we have been starting to obviously do a lot of the things on the back end and trying to get things ready and get things planned because we are about to start revving up the social media game with this second book. So very, very excited, very excited. I'm working on the horror. I haven't worked on it all week. I've been a slacker, LOL. I know, right? I know. Same house is like done. Like done. And I think if the gods are in my favor, today or tomorrow, maybe, hopefully this weekend, I'll have a physical copy in my hand for like the final look at. Thank you guys. Y'all are so sweet. But yeah, I'll have the final copy for me to actually like look at and make sure everything looks the way that I want it to. Yeah. Vroom vroom, which is no, they can't catch me. Exactly. Oh, good morning, Hannah. Haven't been here for a while, but congrats. Thank you. That's so sweet. I'm very excited. Like, there's so many things happening. And I mean, if you have Goodreads, then you may be able to get a sneak peek of a thing that I, will be posting later. But I don't want to spoil nothing. So if you don't want to spoil nothing, then don't go looking for nothing. Okay? Must be a mind trip having a physical copy in your hands. Yes, it is. The first time that I ever held this book in my hands, I was like, wait a minute. All these words, I wrote this? And like, it looks like a book, feels like a book. But I'm really excited. And I did a little something different with the formatting on this one. Like I think it's going to be ever so slightly shorter and maybe ever so slightly thinner this away. Because I just started looking at, like the traditional publishing books and like the thrillers in the genre and like what specs they have, which I should have done with this one. But, he was a brand new baby author. He didn't really know what to look at or what to look for. So it's going to be a slightly different size and it's definitely going to be thicker because it's at least 60. How many pages is this book? Oh yeah, it's like 70 pages longer than the Ghostwriters Club. So get into that. Yes. You know what? Black Sunlight, me too. This is my first child. And my second one is due very soon. Can't you tell? Yes, it is the best feeling for sure. Oh, hello, Ian. No worries. You're actually right on time. We're just yapping. We're taking things slow this morning because, as y'all know, I'm in the closing weekend of Legally Blonde. So we have a show today, we have a show tomorrow, and your boy is done. He is freed from the shackles of Harvard Law, and I will have so much more time to do book things and YouTube things and Instagram things and all the things. And so I'm very excited to be coming to the end of my theater season and the start of what I'm assuming will be a very fun, creative second half of the year. Because my goal for the second half of the year is to start really getting back into some Project Purple. Okay, we remember her. She's still alive and kicking. She's still alive and well. I would love to read through the first book, mark it up, and have my notes in there. And I have already, literally yesterday at work, I just caught a hit of inspiration and did a very, very rough, I mean, it's very rough, but I did an entire like outline, like save, but with the Save the Cat, entire like rough outline of book two, like the whole thing from opening image to final image. So that's exciting. And so I'm going to be working on some of that and trying to, because kind of what I did with book one was I started very like granular, and then it slowly started to expand the outline. I probably did like four versions of the outline, like four different expansions until I finally got what I wanted. And then when I was actually writing the book, it didn't stick because I just knew like the main goalposts. And once I know that, and like those are really locked in and like they're secure in their position in the story, then I'll just kind of be flying by the seat of my pants. But I also would really like to get another thriller outlined at some point this year. That's the goal, because I already have one like working in my brain, and so I'm just letting it kind of cook on the back burner. And whenever the timer goes off, we'll be ready. You know what I'm saying? LOL, not the Beyonce baby bumper up. Barnes and Noble's print service for a personal copy. I mean, that is a very affordable way to get print copies, because like if you do it through like the Office Depot, Office Max, like with the spiral bound, that can get like crazy expensive. But you can get a printed version from Barnes and Noble for like, I mean, depending on how long your book is, between like $5 and $10. So like, not a bad gig. I don't know if their shipping has changed or anything, but we'll see. Right, left me all this birth talk. Good thing there's a midwife in the room. Exactly. I love it. So what all, now that I've just yapped your ears off on all the writing updates in my world, tell me the writing updates in your world. What are y'all going to be working on today? Because I would love to know. The specific stuff that I'll be working on today is mostly going to be back end stuff. I'd really like to get the ebook uploaded for the same house into Amazon, because I did my paperback in Ingram Spark, which is like the wide distribution situation. So it'll be available pretty much anywhere online the books are sold. But then I want to get the ebook set up for Amazon. That way, whenever I announce like pre-orders are live and all that stuff, that both versions of the book are available. So yeah, that is kind of where we are at with things. Just follow me on Goodreads. Well, you might have seen something on Goodreads. Just be careful. Picking up from where we left off last stream, started a new job on Monday, and my brain has been overstuffed with new info. Couldn't get into a writing space. I totally feel that. I've been kind of like as y'all know from a few weeks ago, whenever I got the other position at my current job, it feels like it took a month and a half, because the person who took my old position is starting Monday, which means that for the last like month and a half, I've been covering both jobs, and it has been a whirlwind of a time. But I finally feel like I'm like getting to settle in with it. So that is very exciting. Happy for you, Black Sunlight. And I am wishing you nothing but the best. I hope you're loving this new job. Yep, working on emails and comments, the fun stuff. Yeah, we love all the admin tasks. That is literally my life. My life is an admin task. It feels like, because that's what I do nonstop. That's how I think. Is my brain just thinks in admin tasks. It's like, oop, task received. What should we do to do it? And then we execute. Like, that is my life for the most part. Ooh, Hannah is plotting her tennis romance, but should be working on the lit fic. But follow your vibes. Follow your vibes. We're all vibes on this channel. And also, I'm very excited. Speaking of this channel, is I'm going to be doing some more fun content, because I've been doing live streams, and I'm proud. I have been pretty darn consistent with my weekly live stream, if I do say so myself. I think I may, in the last, pretty much in the entirety of this year, may have only missed like a few. Like, since I started doing the consistent weekly live streams, I might have only missed like one or two. So I'm feeling pretty good about that. I'll be doing my day job, yes, on the weekend. Oh, Ian, tell your day job. That's not cool. So next week you can make some good writing progress. Yes. Next week, I will probably, I'm planning on still doing the stream, even though I will not be here at my house. I will actually be at my lovely parents' house next weekend. We're going to be just going and spending the weekend for the 4th of July, sitting by their pool. I want to be reading some books, and maybe even reading one of my own books. And I'm just so excited to have a weekend of just relaxation. But I do also want to, set aside a couple hours to get some stuff done. And so I will still be live. I don't know if I'll be on my laptop or if I can just kind of take this setup with me, because that'd be the easiest. So we'll see. We'll see what we want to do. And yeah, that's all I really had to say. I don't know what else I was thinking. Jealous. It was supposed to rain yesterday, but it has not. Let me see. Let me look at this weather. Also, look at this cup. It's an Awala, but my lovely, wonderful husband got it for me. And I live. And it's so nice. It's 40 ounces. It's full of iced coffee. Okay. And this little sucker here is like a straw, literally. So it is like a little sucker. Anyway, we're not going to get into that because my middle school brain activated for a minute. Okay. What do we got? Oh, it's only supposed to be just cloudy today, which I'll take. I do like a good cloudy ambiance. It's good nap weather, either way. Yay, Misty, you made it. Welcome. Good morning. Hello, sticking in, trying to get a blog done. Productivity on a Saturday can be a challenge. I totally agree, Tamika. That's why we have these lovely Saturday mornings, so we can all be motivated together. So welcome. Happy to have you here. Question. Have y'all ever written a group of characters where two of them accidentally have great chemistry and you're not here for it? Ooh. I don't think I've ever not been there for it. Because most of the time I'm like, okay, if that's your vibe, then we're gonna follow it, Because I'm very much a yes and, or I'm the enabler friend, and so if my characters start catching feelings for another character, I'm gonna be the one that's on the background, like, Sebastian, kiss the girl or the boy, we don't know. So no, I have not, but I'd be interested to hear if anyone else in chat has ever had this happen to you. Thanks. I love it. And I didn't even know my husband was getting it for me. I just came home one day, saw the Awala box, and I assumed it was his because he was talking about getting himself a new Awala. And then he was like, so I got you this. And I was like, me? For me? And he gave it to me like a couple days ago. So it kind of felt like a reward for making it through busy season at work and pretty much the end of Legally Blonde. Bum, bum, bum. I just thought I was supposed to do something on Saturday. Oh, wait, I'm doing it. Yes. That's pretty much how I feel on a normal Saturday. This is my like one thing where I'm like, okay, I set aside my 2 hours. I talked with my friends on the YouTube. I got some writing done or some admin work or some reading or something productive. Okay. So yeah, we deserve it. This is we're putting in the work for our future selves, and our future selves will thank us for it. T. Bar turned out to be a lesbian who thought I was a stud, and that's how it feels writing these two characters who should not be together. That is a crazy gay situation. That is hilarious. Wow. It is a reward. And again, congratulations. Amen. Amen. It is a reward. And I am proud because, I mean, while it was a bummer to not really be able to be on YouTube and stuff as much as I would have liked to be, because I love like a fun part of my week is like so much of how do I say this? So much I get so much joy from this community. Like I love whenever I get to do my Tuesday, Thursday streams with Evelyn. I love when I get to join the streams that Natalie and Taylor host on Mondays. And then I love getting to do this every Saturday, and just being like so like a part of the community. I've kind of missed that because I mean I just literally haven't had the time or bandwidth for it, and so I'm very excited, just itching to be back in the community and just posting and interacting with all of y'all and writing and doing all the fun creative things. While I'm doing fun creative things, I want to do the quiet fun creative things, like being at my house. That's so real, actually. You know that old phrase, hurry up and wait? Oh my God. Yeah, that's what publishing feels like. Like all of this stuff that I'm doing behind the scenes, it's like I'm trying to hurry up to get it posted. But as soon as it's uploaded, it's like now you have to wait 3 to 4 to 5 days to do anything. And I'm like, ugh, it's the worst. But that is my hurry up and wait right now. So fun. Feels like we're so busy that it's hard to turn off that part of the brain. Then the passion becomes work, and that yeah. I totally get that. And aside, 65-year-old, like one of the elders, glad to be here. We salute you. Welcome. We have an elder. That has made me think of because there's an elder in my story that I was plotting, and so like when you said one of the elders, my brain went to like tree person with like brown burlap cloak and like a wooden staff with a green crystal at the top. Like that's what my brain went to. And so Barb, just know that I'm picturing you as like a very wise wizard right now. So that's how I'm picturing you in my brain. Yes, my sister. Oh, shout out to the lesbians. We love you guys for sure. Because you know what? You can't have LGBTQ without the L, And fun little piece of pride history for those of you who didn't know, the reason that L is listed first in LGBTQIA+ is because during the AIDS epidemic back in the day, when the world turned their back on the gays, it was the lesbians who were, becoming nurses and trying to heal people who were dying and sick and who were allowing them to stay on their couch and giving them a place to live, feeding them, giving them shelter. And so every single Pride Month, we never forget that L came first because they were the heroes. So shout out. That was your piece of pride history for the day. You're very welcome. Exactly. Without the L, we would have taken more L's. And I've always said that. Always said that. Ooh, been thinking about starting something on Substack and YouTube, but having it become work is my fear. Like I cannot multitask. Yes, 100%. 100%. Yes, lesbian pride flag nails. I love that. Yes, we love a nail. Ah, Barb. That is so cool. You literally helped make history. I love that. That's amazing. Oh, very that. Oh, you're so welcome, Tamika. We love our gay history. Who was I sharing? I shared some history with. Oh, talking about where were we at? We were at the show last night. Okay, here's your one more piece of gay history, and then we're gonna move on to our first writing sprint. But one of the people at the show last night, it was talking about. He said one of my good Judys, and one of our allies, our straight allies in the room, was like, "Did you just say Judy's?" And I was like, "Okay, let me give you a little tease." So basically, Good Judy is from Judy Garland, and who was very openly accepting of queer people. And so basically, it would be like people would go around like, "Are you a friend of Judy's?" And if you said yes, that meant that you were a part of the queer community. You just couldn't necessarily speak on that. And so that is, if you ever heard a queer person say, "Oh yeah, she's my good Judy, he's my good Judy, they're my good Judy," that just means that like that's where that comes from. It comes from like a code that queer people had to use back in the day to keep from being outed in public. And so they were friends of Judy Garland. And so yeah, there's your second piece of queer history for the day. And with that, I think the time has come for us to do our first sprint of the day. So with that said, friends, best of luck to all of you. I'm wishing you all the best in whatever it is you're going to be working on, and I'll see you in 40 minutes. Bye. All right. That was the first sprint. Excuse me. How did you all do? Let me know. I got a lot done. I was able to get my Amazon all set up. My ebook, excuse me. I got the ebook uploaded onto Amazon. And so now it is processing and all that fun stuff. What else did I do? Oh, I did some stuff in my actual author account on Amazon just to make sure that some of the connections were there. And I posted on Instagram, which if you have Instagram and you're not following me, it's Cody the Writer. It's the same as my YouTube. And it would really, 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 really mean a lot to me if you do have Instagram, if you went over there and, shared my post, maybe liked it, commented, anything to push it out in the algorithm, right? Because we're starting to ramp up to some fun things. And I just want everyone to know about it. You know what I'm saying? So, okay, let me go back because the chat kept going. Let me see. Okay. Don't know y'all from Adam and Adam, but I am in love already. It's so cool to share with my peeps. I was part of so much LGBTQ plus history, wedding in SF, Army before DDITT. So much. I hate to leave you, but I have to sleep for a bit. Have 2 cancers and another swatch of skin cancer came up yesterday. I'm a tad overwhelmed. Another surgery upcoming. Had 7 so far. Oh my gosh, Barb. We are sending you all of the best healing vibes. And thank you so much for being here. You are welcome here anytime. We love you. Also, why am I still on that? Why am I not here? I should be here. There we go. Barb, we love you. Yes, I'm sure Barb will be back. We do hope so. Oh my gosh, Misfit Mentor finished draft 1, working on prep work for draft 2. Congratulations. That is amazing. So proud. Also, we have a Lynn Jung here. Hi, friend. I had like a stroke reading your name. Lindy Jung. My brain went, Lynn Jung. I just had a glitch. But so happy to have you here, Lynn. How are you doing, friend? What you working on? Are we working on some Crips? Gotta be, right? Or maybe something different than Crips. I'd love to know. Oh, yes. All the love in the chat. Took almost a full year hoping to do draft 2 in the next 6 months, then send it off to beta readers in the new year. So exciting. Finally finished revising a chapter that's been driving you nuts, Lynn. That's amazing. There's no better feeling, truly. Hi, Vicky. Welcome in. It has been a while, but welcome. Happy to have you here. Also, hello, Paladina. Feels like it's been a while. No, not yet. JK. 279 words for you. Great job, Heather. Successfully merged my new writing with an old chapter. Okay. We love to see it. I agree. I was locked in. I was in admin mode. For sure. Tata, thank you for helping me finish this chapter. Love you. Thank you, Lynn, for stopping by. So glad we could help push you to the end of that. Yeah, Chris, but I gotta go. Oh, your first signing. Lynn, that's so fun. Ooh, make sure you take a video. I'm sure you will, but I want to see. I'm so happy for you. Love it. Yeah, timer's still going. She was still going, but it's fine. We were talking, having a good time. Pulled away to fix a weed eater, trimmer, whip snipper, etc. We call them weed eaters here. At least I accomplished that. Love it. Yes, we love when a Lindy Jung pops into the stream. So I mean, we have probably 10 minutes before I want to jump into my next sprint because I'm just feeling the energy, the productive energy. So, is there anything about the current process that I'm in, whether it be like the behind the scenes, the publishing part, the uploading, any of that you have like questions about, if you want to ask just while it's like fresh on my brain, feel free to do that. Or if you just want to yap about whatever it is you have going on, let me know. I'd love to know. But we have about 10 minutes to kill before the end of our little break. Also, I'm giving some pets to the Dutch because she is here under the desk taking a lovely nap on my boxes. Yeah. You sweet kitty cat. It's a sweet kitty cat. Yeah, she ain't having it. What's everyone chewing on right now? Nothing. My lip, because that's a nervous tick of mine, is I just chew on the back of my lip. So there's your answer. When you get back-to-back edits, how do you not get lost in the weeds? What do you what do you mean by back-to-back? You mean like two different stories having sets of edits, or like when I'm doing edits for one book and then I finish that and then move on to the next book with edits? Is that what you mean? That's what I'm assuming you mean. But I'm gonna wait until we can clarify. That's so funny. Where did my chat go? Come back. There we go. You can ask the flowers. That song stuck in my head because I was also on Instagram posting, and oh, I can see y'all already leaving likes and stuff. Y'all are so nice. Thank you. Any engagement is so helpful because the algorithms are not nice. Oh, okay. Like, let's say you get feedback plus edits, you do them, then you get more and more, and after so many passes, how do you keep everything straight? Ooh. That is a great question. I really let me think about this. Let me think about the best way to clearly speak on this question. That's a great question, Black Sunlight. Let's see. I don't know. I guess in my mind, because I usually whenever I'm doing edits, I'm like deep into it. And so when I'm returning to a story, I have a pretty good idea of, like, I don't know, my brain can just see what is newer and what was from previous. Like, I know the scenes that I have improved because usually it takes quite a while for me to, especially going from draft one to draft two, I usually have a pretty good idea of where I added things. But also I keep copies of every time I do a new like update to a draft, I'll save it as a new document and call it draft 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever. And so I guess that's how I would keep track. I don't necessarily. I'm trying to think because I mean, really, yeah. I don't know if that's helpful at all, but my brain just remembers the versions, I guess. Chewing on some crisp water in this boiling heat. But yeah, I don't know. I guess that would be my best answer. Is I know what has changed because I was there when the first version was written, and so I have documents to go back and look at. I guess if I ever get confused, but I have yet to run into a situation where like later on down the line I'm re-revising something that I've already revised and whatever. So every read over a new draft and realize the context needed for a scene was established in an old draft and doesn't exist anymore. Oh, yes. See, no, I haven't personally had that problem because usually for me, when I'm revising, I'm usually adding. I'm not doing a lot of deleting unless it is just absolutely irrelevant to the story. And if it's relevant to the story, then it's not going to necessarily be context that is needed for, a later scene. I wouldn't delete that because I would know that later scene is, you know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? And also, whenever I do new drafts, usually I never start over from a blank draft unless it's absolutely needed. Ghostwriters Club, my first book, could do a complete rewrite, but with like the same house, I never did a full rewrite of the story, so there was never any major overhaul where something like that, where context could have been lost. But that's a great question. Thank you for asking that, because I've never really thought about that before in my brain, because that's just how my brain works, and that's where all these stories live, is just clinking around up here in the old noggin. I was like, what who is this? Who is she? Loath that Google reverted YouTube handle, so now my edgy middle school username instead of the clean, polished username I had. What do you mean they reverted it? Like on the chat? Are you not able to change it back, or no? I don't know. I didn't know it could do that. Well, I mean, I'm sure Google can do whatever they want with their accounts, but I didn't know that they could just revert like that. Interesting. And now we know that. What's everyone reading right now? I'm currently reading an arc. It's called The Other Patient. And it is by Dan Hurst. And, I have feelings about it, but I know it's an unrevised draft that I'm currently reading, because that's what it said on the little thing. But I'm having a difficult time getting through it in its current state, just because it feels like a lot of very stream of conscious, which normally for me in writing is great. But as I'm reading this, I don't know. I feel like I'm reading I don't know. I feel like it's holding my hand too much. It's telling me how and what to think, when I kind of wish that it would just kind of show me what's happening and let me draw my own conclusions and let the twist happen that way. But also, this is my first book that I've read of this person, and so it could just be that their writing style is not necessarily for me. But I need to read one of their finished works to see if it is for me. Because right now this arc it's been a little tough to get through, I'm not gonna lie. But I'm gonna push through because I asked for it. And so I'm gonna try my best to get to the end of it. Edits can be overwhelming. I don't see any videos about keeping it organized. Also, find the beta read process chaotic when I'm trying to implement feedback, but mindful of other beta feedback. Yes. And where you do have conflicting beta feedback, where like one beta reader will say, oh, I love this scene. I love the character development that you showed here. And then you'll have another person being like, I don't really see the character development. And so there's a lot of videos, well, not necessarily a lot of like specific videos, but I've heard people and other writers talk a lot about the note behind the note, because sometimes they'll just say, I hate this character, but that doesn't give you any actionable feedback. You can't like do anything with that. So what do you hate about the character? And then they'll probably be like, oh, well, I hate that they did this whenever this was going on. And so it's like, oh, so it's actually a character motivation issue. You don't hate the character, you just didn't like this one decision that they made, and then it sort of affected your view of that character for the rest of the story. And that is that fixing that one decision and making it make sense logically with their own, decision making, and then the things happening around them. That's a fix. That's an actual feedback. I can say, okay, this character did this thing because, and I can like rationalize why they did it to maybe help the reader. But sometimes on the other side of that same coin there are moments like that where I'm like, I don't want to hold my readers' hands. I want my readers to be able to draw conclusions and have their own thoughts about certain things. I don't want to give them, it's going to make sense. The story will make sense. I'm never just going to pull something crazy out of left field like that at you. But I don't want to give you every single minuscule piece. I want you to be like, so I wonder, like, how did that happen? I want you to kind of come up with your own conclusions, because then that is when art becomes interactive. That is when it becomes a conversation. Because if I'm telling you every single detail of every single thing that's happening, then that's just me talking to you. in the end. But I want to have some conversation with my readers. That's kind of how I want my stories to go. And even though they are like your fun, twisty thrillers, I want them to sort of have that conversation with the reader and not just say, here's everything you need to know, and here's the twist. Hope you had fun. Bye. You know what I mean? So I hope that was helpful. Me just kind of rambling, but those are my kind of thoughts with that conflicting process. But at the end of the day, you are the author. You get to decide what feedback you do and don't take. So if you feel like a specific feedback is maybe not as valid, don't take it. It's awesome. I love it. Just say, I disagree. And that's okay. You're allowed to disagree because that's the conversation of it all, you know? Anyway, thank you for listening to my TED Talk. Currently reading Roshio's Demon in White. It's very much a boy book, but I'm hooked. You know, people have been calling Dungeon Crawler Carl a boy book as well. And, you know, I kind of have to agree, but also I kind of love it. But I am just a boy. What can I say? You know? And I'm thinking about how would you guys feel if I did like on my Instagram like page, if I did like a series, and I'd probably post it on YouTube Shorts as well, where of me like reading Dungeon Crawler Carl. Because I just have so many thoughts to share with my friends. Don't look at my hair. It's just a mess under there. But how do you all feel? Because y'all are the MVPs. Y'all are here every week. Y'all see the most of me out of everyone, right? How would you feel about my specific content going a little bit hybrid? Oh, Duchess says hello. So she can be here for this question. How would you feel about my YouTube / Instagram going hybrid to where I'm also not just posting writing author content, but also like reading content and like life content, you know, like I just want to, because I feel like once I hit a certain point with like the writing content, I run out of things to say. I have nothing else to add. There's nothing new to say in this conversation, but I just think that'd be really fun, and it'd be fun for me as well, and be a way for us to kind of have more to talk about, you know? So let me know how you feel about that. I'd love to know. Ooh, we have a question from Vicky. When getting feedback from beta readers, how do you differentiate between what's critique and that is worth considering and possibly implementing versus what's simply someone's personal taste? And I feel like I kind of touched on that in my big ramble that on the last question. So I hope that I also answered your question, because like I said before, at the end of the day, you're the author. You know what the story is supposed to be. No one knows the story like you do. Now, if they're saying like I literally don't understand then maybe we need to evaluate and like see what is missing, what pieces are missing. But there are some critiques that just aren't valid, and you know you got to find the critique under the critique. Because I hate this character, not valid. I did not like this character's decision based on the situation that they were in, valid. We can work with that. But if it is a critique that you can't work with, throw it away. You know? Notice a lot of writing craft content is for beginners, and it's rare to see people talk about the intermediate stuff. Shaylin writes can be good for higher level craft. Yes. And I feel like once you sort of get into the like with what you're saying, the intermediate and advanced, it almost kind of becomes second nature, because like you know all the rules, but you're at least in the beginning for me, it was craft first and then my voice second. But the longer that I write, the more that my voice becomes more of the priority, where it's like I know the rules and I know when and how to break them. And so like my voice is now taking the priority while keeping, craft is still there. Obviously, I'm creating a story. There is some craft to that, and there is some knowledge to that. But for the most part, I'm focusing mostly more on my voice these days with the intermediate, higher level kind of stuff. So reading that which is true cannot be, a Southern Gothic by Lorraine Mazel. I haven't had much time for it recently, but I'll be getting back into it. That sounds very fun. NF just finished The Well-Trained Wife as part of my cult research. Ooh, yes, we love research. Reading Dead Rabbit by Joseph Came from the Flower Shop Down Under. Focus. Don't yell at me. I'm talking with my friends. By Kate Redwood and Chris Heineke. Oh, it came from under the flower shop down under. Fun. It came from the flower shop down under. That's what it is. Reading John Scalzi's Lock In. He's a Hugo Award winner, so I thought I would check him out. Oh, y'all are adding so many great things to my list. Thank you so much. She used to be a go-to. I'll have to get back to watching her videos. Yes, meow. We have the Duchess. Certain kinds of books cater to certain groups of people, has so much to offer, and something can be taken from all of them. Example, boy books, like nail and aura farming. Yes, Duchess, your people are saying hello to you. So be thankful and grateful. Okay. Yeah, be thankful, grateful. Sweet kitty. Combining writing and reading and lifestyle makes total sense to me. Okay. Would love the hybrid. I feel like for writing, I have to relearn a lot of the rules every time I start a new project. See, as I go, because I'm not necessarily thinking about the rules. I'm mostly, the longer I write, the more I become aware of my own pitfalls. And so for me, in my first book, I learned that I love the word that. THAT. And I also learned that it pretty much has no place. I mean, it has some places where we need a that, okay, but not as many places as I was putting it. And so that's like one of the things that I avoid now. Like anytime I catch myself writing a sentence and I'm overusing that, I'm like, nope, delete. You don't need that. So like it's stuff like that I'm aware of as I'm writing, and then obviously I'm aware of like story structure and like what parts of the story that I'm in and what things need to be accomplished. But that's really the only craft stuff I think about when I'm writing my books, because at the end of the day, I still want it to be fun. And if it's got all these rules on it, then my brain is like, that's not fun. That's work. You know, work has rules. Creativity, it has guidelines. You know, there's really no one correct way to write a book, tell a story. It's however works best for your brain, which I love. Mix it up any way you like. All writers are readers except those AI jerks. Exactly. Lots of readers are writers, and YouTube is really about the person. So lifestyle works too. Amen. Well, I'm so glad, because that's kind of the vibe I want to get into. And I think my very first vlog back will be me vlogging this trip that we're taking to my parents next week. And then I'll also have some clips from Legally Blonde and things like that, and as part of my where I've been, what I've been up to. And yeah, I'm just going to take y'all along with me for a fun weekend of reading and being creative at my parents' house, because their house is beautiful. And I love being out on their back porch, and it's all have all the natural lighting. It's going to be great. Rewatched their video about linguistic ecosystems while cleaning this morning. So it was on my mind before writing sprints. Always a good watch. Ooh, linguistic ecosystem. Say that 5 times really fast, but you can't. Getting back to my true writer voice has been very difficult. It's easy to lose sense of your natural flow after having researched the writing craft to exhaustion. Yes. And that was how I started. I mean, I was on YouTube, girl, at any time I had a free moment, I was watching craft videos on YouTube. Like that is what I did probably I did that really for years before I actually really dedicated to writing. Like, cause I started this book probably like a bajillion times. And every time that I would get the itch to like come back to this, I would get back into writing craft videos, and I would get sucked into them. And I would spend so much time watching videos and overthinking every single word that made it to the page that I would just give up. And what took me finally getting to it was, yes, I watched some craft videos before this final time that I started it. But really, I was just like, okay, I just need to get the freaking book out of my brain and onto paper. And then I can worry about all these freaking rules that everyone's trying to impose on me through the internet, you know? But as I have learned through the process of being on YouTube and writing actual, books and stuff, is just writing advice is so subjective, and it is very person to person. Writing processes are like fingerprints. No two are the same. So, at the end of the day, if writing advice is for you, take what works for you. And if it doesn't work for you, please throw it away. You don't need it to be a good writer. You can just write because people care about what you have to say. Because if we all are following the exact same rules and doing the exact same shit in our books, that's so boring. So trust your artistic voice and your writing craft and your innate ability to tell a story. And I promise it's going to be okay. Okay? Sorry, I had to get real close up to y'all on that one, but yes, amen. Got to learn how to trust ourselves as writers. Okay? Speaking of trusting yourself, we need to write. And I'm going to slightly shorten our sprint to 30 minutes because I was just having so much fun yapping with y'all. I couldn't help it. Okay? So, boop, 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 boop. There we go. 30 minutes on the clock. Best of luck to all of you wonderful, beautiful people here in the chat. And I'll see you in 30. Alrighty, friends. That was the end of our second sprint. Hope you all did amazingly well. I have been working on graphics for this whole time, but I'm having a great time. Hold on, I'm doing one more thing, but let me know how you did in the chat while I'm finishing up this little bit right here. Okay. All right. Let's see. How'd we do? Okay. Let me come back up here. Oh, the Misfit Mentor getting sleepy should push through by going to local library to stay awake and write, or just call it a day after this sprint and nap. You know what? I say go for the nap because you can't pour from an empty cup. You know what I'm saying? Rest that brain of yours. And then you can always, take a nap after. Or, hold on. Right after your nap is what I meant. So that's my vote. I believe in you, though. Hit my first real roadblock, trying to shorten a small plot beat, and the new version is just as long. So I'm asking myself, what makes this long? And I think it has too many pieces. Like it's exposition, flashback, dialogue, exposition, internal monologue, too many segmented bodies, like an anthropod. So I'm trying to write flashback, exposition, internal monologue. Love. I mean, can they not all sort of intermingle? Maybe that would help. Instead of segmenting it, we've got 3 characters mapped out, their characteristics, arcs, secrets, misbeliefs, all that. Love. 601 words for me today. That's a win. Heather, that is amazing. Congratulations. We love a multi-talented king. Yes. Spurs in chat, please go ahead and break both legs in multiple places. Absolutely will do. Absolutely. Yeah, I have a good I think I don't need to leave for the theater. I have like 6 hours. And so I think your boy is going to turn his brain off. He's going to play some video games. I'm currently playing Sea of Stars right now with my husband, and it's a great time. So we're probably going to continue on through that. And next time I see you, I will be free from this show. And I think the next time I see you, I'll be able to make a really, 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 really big announcement. But if you're following my Instagram, which you all should be, Cody the Writer, you might get the announcement before the stream. So make sure you're following me over there. And yeah, if you didn't see my most recent post, there's a countdown that has officially started. So if you want to go share that and share in the hype, I would really much appreciate it. Be following that. And with that, I'll see all of you lovely, beautiful people in the next stream. Yes, enjoy the show. Thank you. Finish beautifying your blog post, Tamika. That is amazing. Congratulations. What a very productive morning we've all had. And with that, I love you all so much. I'll see you next Saturday in our different location at my parents' house. Have a great rest of your week, and I'll see you all later. Bye.